Hi, fourth graders, and welcome back to Digital Learning. So I hope you enjoyed that video. It was really kind of funny. Now, I grew up learning on how to type on one of those old typewriters, and they were really, really hard to use. Now, things have gotten easier over the years. So let me explain a little bit to you how those old typewriters worked. First of all, you had to take your paper. We didn't have printers. So you took your paper and you had to put it in the carriage, roll it to move it around. Then you had to kind of release it and make sure your paper was lined up. If you didn't make sure your paper was straight, then your print on your paper might end up very crooked one way or the other. So you had to make sure your paper was all lined up. Then you had to set your margins. Usually on our computers or on Chromebooks, our margins are already set for us, so we don't have to do that. Once you set your margins, usually they stayed the same, so you didn't have to change them every single time you typed. Now, the keys on the keyboard are a little bit harder to push, actually a lot harder to push. And like if I wanted to type a row of periods, dot, 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 now on my keyboard, I can just hold it down and it will make a series of dots. But on an old typewriter, you had to go dot, 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 and do it over and over and over again. If you press down, you're just going to get one letter, not a bunch of letters. So if you made a mistake, now we can just backspace, that goes away. Not so easy. If you made a mistake, you had to take, now I know you've all seen liquid whiteout, it's like a little paint brush or a little fingernail paint brush almost, and it puts a white fluid over top of a letter. You could use that, but then you had to wait for it to dry, because if you typed on top of it, you got a smudgy mess. If you didn't have that, and I think a little bit before that even came out, there was something called a correction paper or a correction tape. It was a little thing, a little piece of paper about the size of your name tags. And what you would do is you would take that piece of paper, backspace, let's say I typed a capital E and I wanted a lowercase e. You would take that paper, put it between the paper and the ribbon, because you don't want the ribbon typing again. Put it between the paper and the ribbon, type the E that you made a mistake with, and then pull that ribbon out and your mistake was gone. So I know this sounds so hard, and I wish you could, wait a minute. I do wish you could try it, and guess what? You can. So I want you to keep typing on your typing club. Keep working on those typing skills. Just a little heads up, next week we're going to have our typing test. So, but I want you to keep working on that, but I also want you to experience what it was like typing on one of those old typewriters, like the boys and girls in our video were trying to learn to use. So I am so excited that I found this keyboard where you can actually practice typing and see what it was like, sort of, typing on one of those old keyboards or those old typewriters. So this is what your homepage looks something like. So if you scroll down to our independent activity, typing club, I still want you to work on those typing skills. Practice, practice, practice. Pick up where you left off last week. But let's look at this old typewriter. So this is going to take me to a site. It's called Overtype. This gives you a brief description of how to use an old typewriter or how to use this site. Once you've read your directions, just press start. You actually can go ahead and press start. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're just typing. There's not a whole lot more to do than just type, or so we think. All right, so I'm going to press start. My margins are already set for me. So you see that I have a piece of paper here. Oh, by the way, remember on those old typewriters, once you get to the end of a line, it doesn't automatically return like our keyboards do. We need to return it. On this one, we don't have the return bar or the shift bar. You're just going to hit enter and it's going to return it and feed your paper up. So this piece of paper is loaded in my typewriter. But if you look at it, if you see where this little red dot is, that's where it's going to start typing. Well, I certainly don't want to type in the middle of my paper, so I need to press return, and it moves my paper. So It's a whole lot harder than it looks. So remember, I think I've told you in the past that if you want to type a sentence that includes every letter in the entire alphabet, it is the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So let's type that. Uh-oh, I missed my I. Now, I didn't type an I, so I can just backspace. Uh-oh, I did make a mistake there. Do you guys see that? So I'm only on my second word and I've already made a mistake. So in order to get rid of that mistake, I need to take the I, the C, and the K off. So I'm going to backspace all the way to where my U should be. All right, I think I'm there. Now, remember I told you about the correction paper. Up here, it says load correction paper. So here's the tricky thing about the correction paper. It's going to cover everything up, so you need to remember what you're typing. This was not so easy, guys, was it? All right, so I've loaded my correction paper. I know that I typed an I, a C, and a K in the wrong place, so I'm going to type I-C-K. All right, that's on my correction paper. Now I can go back to where I was. I'm going to remove my correction paper, and if you look, I'm right back where I was, but I need to backspace, and I can do U-I-C-K. The quick. Uh-oh. All right, so that's the thing with these old typewriters. They're really, really fun to play with. If you ever have an opportunity to type on a real one, this is pretty close. If you ever have an opportunity to type on a real one, please take that opportunity and try it. So have fun with this. See what it was like to type way back in the olden days when I learned to type. Have fun with this. Be sure to keep working on those typing skills. Make sure you keep working on your typing club. Pick up right where you left off last week. Have fun with this. Enjoy that old typewriter. Remember, when you are finished with your fun with your typewriter today and all of your lessons for this week, log that computer off, get outside, enjoy this fresh air, have an awesome afternoon, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you right back here next week. Bye, guys.